Maybe you've compared yourself to others and thought you weren't smart enough. But what if intelligence isn't just one single measure, but 8 different ways to shine? Let's explore which of Gardner's 8 intelligences you might be living with. Number 8. Word wizardry. Imagine opening your mouth and somehow your words feel like Wi-Fi, instantly connecting brains around you. That's basically what happens when someone has linguistic intelligence. They're the human equivalent of a podcast story's metaphors, puns, maybe even unsolicited poetry. You meanwhile are still Googling words that rhyme with orange. Linguistic intelligence isn't just about being able to write a sappy diary entry at 2 a.m. It's the ability to manipulate language so effectively that people can't help but listen. Politicians use it to convince you that raising taxes is an opportunity. Novelists use it to make you cry over imaginary people. Lawyers use it to bill you $400 an hour for talking really fast. The psychology behind it is cool. The left hemisphere of the brain, especially Broca's and Wernicke's areas, are like the DJ and sound engineer of your verbal nightclub. One lays down the beats, syntax, the other adds meaning, semantics. Put them together and you get Shakespeare, or at least a halfway decent TikTok caption. But here's the downside: if you have this intelligence, everyone expects you to be the talker. You'll be the one asked to give wedding toasts eulogies and read the directions out loud because apparently no one else can decode mix thoroughly. Basically, you're doomed to be the human loudspeaker at every family event. Number 7. Math magician's numbers. They haunt you at the grocery store, they stalk you in your bank account, and if you're unlucky, they even appear in your nightmares as high school algebra problems. But for people with logical mathematical intelligence, numbers are like adorable pets. They play with equations the way you play with cat videos. This intelligence isn't just about doing long division without crying. It's the ability to recognize patterns, deduce relationships, and predict outcomes. Basically, it's the cheat code for survival in a confusing world. Engineers use it to keep planes in the sky, statisticians use it to make baseball look more complicated than it is, and gamblers use it to convince themselves they're due for a win. Neurologically, this is about the prefrontal cortex having a rave party with your parietal lobe. Your brain treats logic like Tetris, slotting information into neat little lines until it all disappears with a satisfying ding. Except instead of a high score, you get the crushing realization that your Uber driver is taking the long way home. But don't get too smug. Having this intelligence doesn't mean you can balance your checkbook. It just means you could if you weren't too busy calculating the probability of surviving a zombie apocalypse. Spoiler, it's low, but at least you'll die knowing the exact percentage. Number 6. Picture this ever. Meet someone who can close their eyes and instantly rotate a 3D object in their head like it's a video game. That's spatial intelligence. These are the people who look at IKEA instructions and actually get it while you're left with 12 extra screws and an existential crisis. Spatial intelligence is about visualizing, imagining, and manipulating space. Architects use it to design buildings that don't collapse, surgeons use it to navigate inside your body like it's Google Maps, and artists use it to convince you that a banana taped to a wall is worth $120,000. Science time. The right hemisphere of the brain takes the wheel here, especially the occipital lobes, which are basically your personal IMAX theater. That's why people with high spatial intelligence often think in pictures, not words. While you're fumbling with directions, they're already running a high-res GPS in their head, complete with zoom in and street view. The irony. These people are great at seeing the big picture, until it comes to their own life choices. They can visualize the entire solar system, but ask them where they left their car keys, and suddenly the galaxy goes dark. Number 5. Feel the rhythm. No, this isn't about posting thine-round vibes-only playlists on Instagram. Musical intelligence is the ability to hear patterns in sound, recognize pitch, and reproduce rhythm without sounding like a dying goose. If you have this, your brain treats music like oxygen. If you don't, well, enjoy singing Happy Birthday off-key for the rest of your life. Musical intelligence shows up in more than just rock stars and violin prodigies. Therapists use music to help Alzheimer's patients unlock memories. Advertisers use jingles to make you crave burgers at 2 a.m. And toddlers use it to scream Baby Shark on repeat until your sanity evaporates. Neurologically, the auditory cortex and cerebellum team up like a band. One keeps track of the notes, the other handles rhythm and timing. Together they make sure you clap almost on beat at concerts instead of revealing your lack of rhythm to the entire arena. But here's the trap. People assume having musical intelligence means you'll perform something at every gathering. Family dinner. Play us a song. Office party, grab the guitar. Wedding. Oh look, it's you again. The free entertainment. Congrats. You're now a jukebox with feelings. Number 4. Move it or lose it. Picture this, you're at a wedding and everyone's dancing like awkward penguins. Except one person who looks like gravity personally endorsed them. That's bodily kinesthetic intelligence. It's the ability to control your body like it came with an instruction manual, which most of us clearly didn't get. This isn't just athletes doing backflips or dancers who can moonwalk across the stage. Surgeons, craftspeople, and even chefs use this intelligence. If you've ever seen someone chop onions like a ninja without losing a finger, that's kinesthetic intelligence flexing. Meanwhile, you're still trying not to slice your thumb while peeling a potato. The cerebellum and motor cortex are the stars here. They coordinate movements, balance, and timing, basically the parts of your brain that stop you from tripping over your own shoelaces. People with this intelligence can train their bodies to remember movements like muscle memory. That's why athletes keep doing drills until they could catch a ball in their sleep. And probably have. But let's be real, the downside is that everyone expects you to help move furniture. You can dunk a basketball great. Now carry this couch up 3 flights of stairs. Turns out kinesthetic genius doesn't protect your spine from Uncle Bob's antique dresser. Number 3. People whisperers. Ever wonder how some people just know what you're feeling before you do? That's interpersonal intelligence. These are the folks who can read a room faster than Wi-Fi connects while you're still wondering why Karen is glaring at you. Interpersonal intelligence is about understanding others, their emotions, motivations, and intentions. Therapists use it to untangle trauma. Salespeople use it to sell you things you don't need. And politicians, well, they use it to look sincere while lying through their teeth. Psychologically, it's tied to the prefrontal cortex and mirror neurons. Your brain literally mirrors someone else's emotions like you're running their software for a moment. That's why you wince when you see someone stub their toe, or why you cry at Pixar movies even though they're cartoons. But here's the catch. If you're good at this, everyone assumes you're their free therapist. People will dump their life stories on you in line at Starbucks, and suddenly you know more about a stranger's divorce than your own cousin's wedding. Congrats, you're the human version of Tell Me More. Number 2. Inner universe. You know that moment when you're lying awake at 3 a.m., replaying every mistake you've ever made since kindergarten. Congratulations, you've tapped into intrapersonal intelligence. It's the ability to understand your own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. Basically, you're your own therapist whether you like it or not. This intelligence lets people reflect deeply set goals and make sense of their messy inner worlds. Writers, philosophers, and monks on mountaintops thrive on it. Meanwhile, the rest of us are just trying to figure out why we walked into the kitchen. The brain areas involved are the prefrontal cortex and limbic system. They're the duo making you self-aware enough to realize you're anxious, but not helpful enough to tell you how to stop doom scrolling. Thanks, brain. The catch. Having intrapersonal intelligence often means you're stuck in overthinking mode. Sure, you're deeply self-aware, but you also just spent 2 hours analyzing why the cashier didn't say, "Have a nice day." Spoiler, it wasn't personal. Number 1. Nature's BFF. Ever met someone who can look at a random leaf and say, "Ah yes, that's from a silver birch. Circa 5 minutes ago." That's naturalistic intelligence. These are the people who treat nature like their group chat. They can categorize plants, animals, and ecosystems faster than you can name the Kardashian sisters. Naturalistic intelligence shows up in scientists, farmers, and anyone who insists their 47 houseplants all have unique personalities. It's the ability to recognize patterns in the natural world, to see how things connect and adapt. Basically, they're the human version of a Discovery Channel documentary. Brain-wise, it's less about one specific spot and more about networks lighting up when you interact with nature. Your sensory areas, memory centers, and pattern recognition systems all join forces. That's why someone with this intelligence can tell which mushrooms are edible, while you're just trying not to die on a hike. But here's the drawback: everyone expects you to know everything outdoorsy. Lost in the woods? Ask them. Mystery bug on the porch? Ask them. Forgot to water your cactus? Yep, ask them. Basically, you become Google for all things green and creepy crawly. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.